I recently bought this mini travel set for my upcoming trip. This mini sketchbook is from Art Talents and is 12 by 12 centimeters, which I think is a perfect size for trips. And the pens are from Gelly Roll. This is the Moonlight series, and there are 5 of them. They're mostly gray or like blue-gray tones. I thought something like this would be perfect for those long layovers where, there's not much to do, but also you feel kind of, I don't know, when I'm traveling, my mind is really in a vacation mode, so I just want to be relaxed, but at the same time, sometimes you get bored, so I feel like hatching is one of those things that don't really take up your mind too much. And especially if you're doing it in a grayscale, you don't have to think about color and color harmony and color palettes. So you only have to, follow your value tones. So I thought this gray gel pens would be perfect for that. So I created a minimal background for my sketch, and I kind of wanted to be uniform, but while I was doing it, I thought I will add some interest, and I left some gaps kind of like mini clouds. And now I started establishing my darkest dark, and this pen set, their darkest is kind of like a cool gray, and it might appear like black, but it's not actually black, it's just very dark gray. For some reason, I don't really like black ink. It intimidates me. I feel like it's so bold and final and unforgiving. I actually have a nice fountain pen, which I always use with a really nice gray ink. But I'm kind of scared to take my fountain pen on a plane. I feel like the altitude pressure might cause the ink to spill. And that's not kind of a problem you want to have while traveling. So, so I think these gel pens are the perfect traveling companion. I've never sketched planes before, but I feel like they are interesting subjects. They have pretty interesting shapes, like they have the long straight lines, but they also have the round shapes for the engines. And I also like that they are monochromatic mostly, except for maybe branding. But at the same time, they are simple enough. They don't have too many plane breaks. Sorry for the pun. Overall, they have a very pleasing silhouette. Although I did not do any measurements for this sketch, honestly, I just went for the aesthetically pleasing option. I'm not sure if this wing is too long, but I just wanted it to span it across both pages. I really like sketches when they run across both pages. I feel like it gives it such an immersive feeling. And that is one single reason why I started buying only sketchbooks that are bound, like stitched like this, and not, there are others that are ring bound, I think that's what they call it. Practically speaking, the ring bound ones are more practical, I feel like, because they let completely flat. And especially on the go, they are easier to handle. But I just really like to making sketches on both pages. Hatching is one of those things that I really want to learn, and it's also intimidating. It's you never know which direction to go. Do you want to go with rounded strokes? Do you want to go with straight strokes? How do you combine them in so they are in harmony and not like taking away attention? for now, I think I'm going to stick with simple vertical hatching, and I think it looks very pleasing to the eye. And I've seen very accomplished artists using just vertical and be fine. So I think I still want to explore rounded hatching and cross hatching as well, especially for portraits, because we have so many rounder shapes, different planes on our faces. But for something like this, I think just vertical, sticking just to vertical is good enough. Yeah, I don't almost never use a ruler. So all my straight lines are not really straight, but that's a stylistic choice on my part. I feel like it enhances the sketchy feeling. I just like it that way. Also, I feel like it kind of keeps the pressure low for myself. I feel like, I don't have to be perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. I've had some problems with these gel pens when I've done one another sketch with them. I had some problems where the inflow would stop if I was going too fast. Another problem I noticed is when you try to layer on top of, like you did one layer and it's still wet and you try to do another, it doesn't like that. So you kind of have to, wait between your layers, which is fair. A lot of media is like that way. Now I think I got a better handle on them and I'm really, really enjoying them. They also have a different finish because they are opaque than the ink that I'm used to. Ink is kind of, I guess you could say ink is kind of transparent. So layering with ink looks different. But because gel pens are opaque, I know it's a very nice matte finish and it's just different. I also like the sketchbook because the paper is slightly toned. You can see that it's slightly yellow, beige. And I'm using my white gel pen. And although it's not showing too much, I really like it because it's so subtle. I also have acrylic pen, the Posca acrylic pen, and I know a lot of artists use it for highlights, but I think that one is too bold. And I really like the white gel pen, how subtle it is. Yeah, I think at some point you kind of know if your sketch is a hit or miss. And by this point, I really, really like how it looks like. And I think at this point, I just kind of relaxed and just enjoying myself, with the details here and there. I really like when you get to this point when you kind of worked out the big things, the bigger shapes, the values, and you can just kind of adjust things. I kind of wish I left the top of the plane as it is without like defining it. I like the styling where you don't define every part of the subject and leave something to the viewer's imagination, I guess. I think it makes a very aesthetically pleasing piece. But I guess I'm kind of already doing that with having my right page being very detailed, almost, filled with like big shapes. And my left side is, very minimalistic. I know I have a long way to go with my hatching quality, but I also don't do it often enough. And I kind of, I don't know, there's something about this type of scribbly lines that have such a carefree, sketchy feeling, and I really like it. And another thing for me is that it puts my mind on ease, because I think, it does have to be perfect, because you are not trying to be perfect. And that's a big thing for me. I'm a big perfectionist, and it's something that, I live with, and it's not easy. A lot of things, if I know that, they have a risk of not turning out to be perfect, it almost paralyzes me. So I'd rather not do it at all. And that's a very unhelpful mindset to have. So I have to do what it takes to do to put me on ease. And I just have to go on until, this processes form a habit. So, it gets to the point where I don't really have to think about it. Like, I don't get anxious before it. I just, go and do it. In the past, after a particularly unsuccessful piece, I abandoned doing any art for months and months. But now that, my confidence is improving, these gaps are becoming shorter and shorter. And, as always, the key is practice and persistence. And this is probably a favorite part of any artist. The cast shadows, especially on a subject like this, it kind of grounds your subject, and immediately it's something that exists, in a real world. Now that I define the cast shadows below, I feel like I need to match the top of the plane, and I'm just continuing building up the background. I'm kind of darkening all around the plane, the body of the plane, because I want it to stand out a bit more. But still, I'm keeping, since these gel pens are so light, it's keeping everything very whimsical in a way, and I really like that. My initial plan was to fill the background completely, but you can see it takes a lot of time. But also, I felt like I didn't want to do that, because I really like how it is right now. And yeah, you don't really want to overwork the piece. Like I heard an artist I really like said that answering the question, how do you know when to stop? And they said, well, you always have to stop before you think it's finished. And I think it's so true. It's so true because probably it applies to a lot of people, but I tend to overwork my pieces, and I watch the recording back and I feel like, oh, that's the point when I should have stopped. And here is all done. Thank you for watching.